Its face was almost human, but twisted and grotesque, with deep-set eyes. Ryan and Claire had been looking forward to their weekend getaway for weeks. The hustle and bustle of city life had worn them down, and the thought of hiking through the peaceful, remote forest seemed like the perfect escape. They found a secluded campsite far off the beaten path, nestled beside a quiet stream in the thick woods. The air was crisp, and the only sounds were the rustling of leaves and the distant calls of birds. After setting up camp and starting a fire, they sat by the warmth, enjoying the peace. Claire rested her head on Ryan's shoulder, and they exchanged small talk, the kind of conversation that felt effortless in the quiet of the woods. But as night fell, the forest grew eerily still. The wind stopped, and the only sounds left were the crackling of the fire and their own voices. "Well," Ryan said with a nervous laugh, "at least we will be able to hear any bears that come too close, right?" Claire chuckled, but there was a nervous edge to it. "Yeah, we'll be okay. With all the stuff we brought, we're prepared for anything short of a meteor falling out of the sky." The thought of wild animals didn't bother them at first, but as the night wore on, an unsettling feeling crept into the air. A sudden noise broke the silence. A branch snapped in the distance. Claire looked up. "Did you hear that?" Ryan stood up, looking into the dark trees. Probably just a deer or something. But the noise wasn't like a deer. It was heavier, larger sounding. And then, another sound. This time, it sent a shiver down Ryan's spine. He froze, looking toward the tree line, but saw nothing. "We should go inside the tent," Claire suggested, her voice shaky. "Yes, I think that's a good idea." Ryan put out the fire, and they both jumped inside the tent, zipping it up and staying as quiet as possible. "Do you have the bear spray?" asked Claire. "I'm sure it's here somewhere." After about 30 minutes of not hearing any new sounds, the two decided whatever it was they heard making the noise had passed them by, and it was the perfect time to try and get some sleep. Around 2, there was a rustle in the bushes, closer than before. Claire woke up, her heart pounding in her chest. "Ryan, wake up, I really think we should go." "Now." Before Ryan could respond, something huge and dark moved in the shadows, something that wasn't a bear. A large towering figure, its form blotting out what little amount of light came from the moon. Ryan's blood ran cold. The shadow of the figure stood still for a moment, as if it were watching them through the tent. Then, the creature grabbed the tent and threw it with Ryan and Claire inside, as if it weighed no more than an empty bag. Ryan and Claire, both shaken, made their way out of the tent attempting to run, but neither could maintain their balance. The creature took a step forward. It was massive, at least 8 feet tall, and covered in thick, dark hair from head to toe. Its face was almost human, but twisted and grotesque, with deep-set eyes. A low growl rumbled from its chest, and Ryan could feel the ground beneath him vibrate with each step the creature took. "Claire, we need to move," he yelled urgently. But Claire couldn't move, paralyzed by fear of what she was seeing. The creature stopped and stood there, staring at them, its gaze intense and predatory. A horrifying realization crept over Ryan as he scrambled to come up with a way to escape. Claire's breath, quick and shallow, asked, "What is it?" But Ryan didn't answer. He couldn't. The words wouldn't form. He made his way slowly over to her and grabbed her hand. "Claire, take the keys to the Jeep. I have a plan." "What do you mean a plan?" asked Claire. "When I jump up, you run as fast as you can to the Jeep. Get it started and take off." The creature looked on as if it was trying to decide which one to devour first. Just then a loud gunshot and an emergency flare flew into the sky, lighting up the night. A voice yelling "Run" came from the tree line. The creature, stunned momentarily, let out a scream as it put its hand up to block the bright light coming from the flare. Again the voice shouted, "Run." Ryan took Claire by the arm, and they sprinted toward the Jeep. Ryan stopped to look back at the creature. wanting to make sure this thing is what he thinks it is. Another gunshot as a man came rushing up to Ryan. "Let's go," he said. "There's no time." As the flare's light dimmed, the creature regained its bearings. "Drive," the stranger yelled. "Drive." As Claire shifted the Jeep into gear and stomped on the gas pedal, the creature slammed itself into the side of the Jeep. As they sped off, pulling away, the creature gave chase, but soon appeared to vanish in the darkness. "Was that Bigfoot?" asked Claire, her voice shaky and uncertain. "It was," said the stranger. "One of the smaller ones, in fact." "Smaller?" "Yes. The full-grown ones can stand up to 14 feet. I have been studying those awesome creatures for years. They were almost extinct at one point." "How do you know that?" asked Claire. "Well, you see, not only do I study Bigfoot, but I also help raise and repopulate their species. The two of you would have screwed up my feeding schedule. However," he said, as he aimed his gun at Claire and Ryan, "you will do nicely for breakfast, I think."